Okay, so let's continue. Welcome once again. Make this snappy. We are getting into the course itself now. So this time, I want to talk about the first law of thermodynamics, which says that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be useful in other forms of energy or can be converted to other forms of energy. Are we okay? All right. So if we have electrical energy and you don't want to waste it, then you convert that into heat. That's what the first law is saying. So a cup of tea, which is there and has a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, and a surrounding which is around the cup has an ambient temperature of, let's say, 10 degrees Celsius. The first law is saying that heat or energy will be transferred from the cup to where the 10 degrees Celsius is. So there is a thermal equilibrium between the two bodies. So you should know that heat flows from higher temperature to a lower temperature. All right. So um, with this, we'll be considering closed system against what? An open system. I told you from onset of this particular course that open system is any type of system which allows energy and mass transfer to occur across. So energy which is being heat or what? Work. Then when we talk about closed system, it only allows energy to actually dissipate across the boundary. So closed system there is only energy, which is heat or what? Work. So what we are saying in this first law is that the energy input, right? The energy we put in a system minus the energy the system loses out of the system. It should be equals to the change in the whole total energy of the system. And this whole total energy is what I told you it is. PE plus KE plus what? Internal energy, IE. So whenever you talk about the total energy of a system, we are talking about both the microscopic and the macroscopic. Microscopic being the ones due to the molecular structure of the system, which is the internal energy, and macro being as a result of the energy with respect to an outside reference, either height, distance, or what, velocity or speed. So this is what you should know. So if we are talking about closed system, energy input, we said energy is either work or heat. So we can have work input, we can have another input will be what? We can have heat input. So if we have this as input minus the output, so we can have work being done by the system is an output work minus heat lost by the system. It is heat loss, so heat out, kill out. It should be equal to the change in the total energy of the system, which is change in potential energy. Potential energy is what? Mj what? Z. So it will be Mj Z2 minus Z1. If it is kinetic energy, half M V2 squared minus V1 squared. If it is internal energy, M U2 minus U1. So this is what you should know. So in simple put, we can say that energy input minus energy output, right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So energy input minus energy output should be equal to the change in the total energy of a system. So if we are saying that the final energy of the system, that's the final potential, the final kinetic, the final internal energy, is represented with 2, subscript 2. So this G is standing in for potential, kinetic or internal. And this 2, 2, 2 is what I'm saying should stand in for these two. Minus the 1, 1, 1, which are the initials. So simply put, we can say that first law of thermodynamics is actually talking about energy input minus energy output should be equal to the change in the final state of the energy. Very simple, right? All right. So this is what we'll be working along. So if you want to write it in terms of rate, it will be energy input rate minus energy output rate should be equal to change in energy rate. And this change in energy rate is sometimes called the E, the what? The T. The E, the T. Alright, so this is what I want you to get note of. And in closed system, since there is no mass transfer, it is hardly you will see M input minus M output. You know what this dot means? It means flow, mass flow rate. Alright, but for open system, there can be mass flow rate there. So instead of this in open system, you can have M in mass flow rate minus M out mass flow rate. As simple as that. So this is what I want you to get. And for closed stationary system, for stationary system, you know that there is no change in height. There is no change in what? Speed. So it means that the energy due to change in height, which is due to the height of a body, potential energy is zero when you talk about stationary systems. And the kinetic energy too is what? Zero. So in stationary system, energy in minus energy out, which is equal to change in energy, will be equals to energy in minus energy out is equals to change in. So potential energy is zero, kinetic energy is zero. It will be left with what energy? Internal energy only. So it means that in stationary system, there is only change in what? Internal energy. This is an OBJ question. I believe you are good. So without wasting much time, I have a problem here. Let's actually play with it. So, uh, sorry. Then let me clean here. You see, we want you to be engineers. So everything will be fine. Follow Phipps, and that's the success of your life. God being our helper. Are you good? So now I'll quickly go through with you on this one. So a rigid tank contains a hot fluid that is cooled with being stirred by a paddle wheel. Initially, the internal energy of the fluid is 800 kilojoules. During the cooling process, the fluid loses, so as the fluid wants to cool, it will lose heat, of course. Alright, so the paddle wheel does 100 kilojoules of work on the fluid, so it means work done on the fluid. Determine the final internal energy of the fluid. Neglect the energy stored in the paddle wheel. Are you okay? So we are not going to talk about the energy in the paddle wheel. Of course, we paddled it, but we are not going to take account of that. So if that's the case, then I'll bring my pen, change the color to black because I love black. So solution, because I'm an African. So solution, we will say that initially the internal energy, so that is U1. You see, thermodynamics is good. You always think. During the cooling process, the fluid loses, so heat out is 800 kilojoules, and the paddle wheel does, so work input done on the fluid. It is done on the fluid. So work input on the fluid is 100 kilojoules. We are now to determine the what? U2. That's the final internal energy. So we say E in minus E out should be equal to change in E. So E in, let's add all the energy inputs, which can be work input, heat input, mass transfer, or mass flow rate input. But there is no mass flow rate here, so it will be only heat and what? Work. So input for work, I have 100 kilojoules. Do you have any other work input? No, that's all. Then another energy output, which is heat. So minus 800 kilojoules. Oh, so 500. 500. The heat output is 500. Sometimes you are tired, right? It's part of the work. So you just have to pay attention, then follow me. So 500 is equals to change in E, which is final minus initial. I told you that up there. So if I should find the U2, it will be U1 plus 100 kilojoules minus 500 what? Kilojoules. So final internal energy will be U1, which is 800 kilojoules plus 100 kilojoules minus 500 kilojoules. Then U2 will be equals to 900 kilojoules. 900 kilojoules minus 500 kilojoules. So final internal energy is 400 kilojoules. Ladies and gentlemen, this lecture I simply made it very snappy so that you will enjoy the feeling of thermodynamics at the comfort of your zone, and you would actually feel it later. So you feel this internal energy in your stomach, your heart, your brain, your mind, everywhere in your body due to the molecular structure of your own body, right? So that's how you go about the problem. Input, output, then it's equals to change. So I will meet you again in our next lecture video. Stay blessed. Bye.